Hello and happy Vlogtober day 24. It is pretty chilly out here this morning. I love fall mornings like this where the wind really rustles the leaves. And it has kind of that grayish kind of fall feel to it. But I wanted to come out here because I didn't really get to record anything yesterday. I did record this intro yesterday. I'm actually about to walk out the door to go buy groceries, but I thought I would talk about my hat because I may forget to do that later. And it's important to talk about the hat of the day. So this is actually a modified version of the sock head hat, and I'll link the pattern down below. It is probably one of the most made hats in the world as far as knitting, but it's super easy. But mine, I did a garter brim, and I've made like 3 or 4 of these hats. I love them. It's out of fingering weight yarn. This is Desert Vista Dye Works, and this is the colorway Lavender Zombody Decomp. Look how pretty that is. Oh yeah. And I probably knit this on a 2 or a 3 millimeter. I have to look it up. I'll put it down here. But I will see you after I go buy groceries. And I was gonna set the camera up on my little tripod just to record while I was driving, and then have this pretty Vlogtober, maybe share some of the yarns at a different Walmart with you. And I went outside to let my little Yorkie go potty, and I heard my dog, my boxer, start barking a little weird, and he has very distinctive barks. This was a different bark. This is something I've never heard. And then I heard a awful dog wail. And I looked down past the barn. 2 dogs had gotten in the fence and they had jumped my dog. At this point, I was just kind of standing on the porch with my little Yorkie on a leash without any shoes on. And I put my Yorkie in the house and I took off running down the field in socks. And I grabbed a weapon. And now, have you ever done something and you look back in hindsight and you're like, what was I thinking? That was this day? Because the thing that I had grabbed that was laying on the front porch was a neon green pool noodle. Now, these are foam. So try to imagine me, who's not a small girl, running without shoes down the hill into the field, waving this neon pool noodle around and yelling, "Get out of here!" I kind of felt like a creature from Mortal Kombat. I don't know if you've ever played that video game, but when I think it's Snake Eyes says, "Get over here!" I kind of felt like I was in that mindset, in that tone. And I'm so glad I really don't have neighbors, because I'm pretty sure I was a sight. I managed to get the dogs away from my dog, and the white dog, there was a white dog and a brown dog. And the white dog took off down the gate in the driveway. And now he was probably a husky chow mix. He was a really pretty dog. And they both had collars on, which is what drives me crazy even more, because it's just irresponsible owners. Because my dog is in a actual fence that is about 5 feet high, because we had to put it up because of people letting their dogs run around and because of hunters. And then he has a underground electric fence, so he can only stay in our yard. And then this other dog was a pit mix, and she was a female, and she either looked like she just recently had puppies or that she was gonna have puppies. And I was kind of fearful of her for that reason, but also because she is a pit mix. And I fully think they can be great dogs, but this dog was attacking my dog. And once dogs kind of get that taste for blood, it can get scary situation. At this point, the brown dog has taken off to one of the fields. The white dog, I haven't even seen it. It went completely all the way down the driveway. Like, it was gone. I think it was the pool noodle that got it and scared it. I kind of felt like one of those blow up things you see like on the side of the road shaking around. And my dog is just standing there looking like he wants to fight and take on the world. So I had to get him in a secure location, and also I need to kind of look over him and make sure he was okay. And also in all this mix was my mother-in-law's little rat Dotson, who is a complete scrapper for her total of 5 pounds. And I had to check and make sure she was okay. So I put her on the porch to look her over. She was fine. And I tried to get my boxer to come to me, and he was too excited. He was like, "I'm not coming, no." So I went to the middle of the field, and I picked up my boxer, who is 85 pounds, and began carrying him across the field to this little pen that we have. And he was not happy about that. So once I saw that he was okay, I went hunting for this brown dog. There's 38 acres here. That dog took advantage of every one of them. I chased that dog for over an hour on our land. My legs hurt so bad. I tried to get on the foiler, but of course, you know, we haven't cranked the foilers in a while, and so it's been cooler weather, and they didn't want to crank. And then I got on the golf cart, and our golf cart battery apparently was halfway dead because I got halfway to one of the fields behind me, and I thought I was going to have to leave the golf cart. During all this time, I'd stuck the pool noodle somewhere in the back of the golf cart, and even right now to this moment, I don't know where that pool noodle is. I think it's somewhere in that film, so I have to go look for it, because my intention with the pool noodles was to put them on our little awning that covers our cars, so that way doors won't get knocked. And full disclosure, I bought them 3 years ago for that reason. They haven't made it yet to that awning. They were used in dog protection. So the reason all this stuff I thought at the time happened and occurred was my husband and sons decided to go to Sam's to do a few errands and get a few things that we needed because he wants to make chicken and dumplings today. And I went towards the other direction to buy the groceries. And they left the gate open. And I mean, they left like 15 minutes before not even 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes before I was about to leave and before I was walking my dog. And I thought these two dogs came in that way. And when I was chasing the brown dog, my husband called and he's like, are you still at Aldi's? And I'm like, no dear, haven't even left the house yet. And I kind of told him briefly what was happening. But he said when they were leaving that he noticed that Hank was looking behind the barn and Cutie Pie like they saw something. So he thought maybe they came in that way. So when he got home, he walked the line and apparently a tree had fell on the fence over on that side behind the barn and put a perfect hole in our fence, and we think they got in that way. Finally the brown dog went out and I could let my dog out and he's fine, but let me tell you, it was crazy. I recorded this after that incident, so it's almost an hour later and as you can see, I no longer have the hat on or the sweatshirt and my face looks like a tomato. But yeah, this is a Monday. Because I was so out of breath, I don't even know if I'm speaking a language that is understandable. But I had ran for about 45 minutes all over this land. Oh, I even took a picture of my watch. This is my stats right after that. I completed the day with over 11,000 steps and like 5-point-something miles of walking, which typically I get 6,000 to 7,000 every day anyways, even as a stay-at-home mom, because I'm back and forth to my mother-in-law's and I walk every time I go over there. But my legs were so tired, and I didn't get home to buying groceries to almost 2:30 because of all the trying to get the dog out of the fence, and it was super crowded, so I didn't even record. I didn't even touch knitting. It was kind of sad. I got the dog out and I got some exercise while doing it, so, and all the dogs are okay. But tomorrow, my parents are going to come over and we are going to start putting the mud on the drywall, which is pretty exciting. I have to put that trim drywall in today, and I need to kind of clean up in there and get all the drywall and put it in the barn that we're keeping. And that's going to be a little bit later because it's so chilly and it's just gloomy. I did, however, last night get to hang out with Jeannie, who is Butterfly Dreams. She is another Alabamian YouTube channel. There's a lot of us Alabamian YouTube channels, actually. The more I find these people, I'm like, yay, fellow person in Alabama. But I never get to hang out with Jeannie on her lives because she's always on later when I'm usually getting ready for bed. But it was foosball last night, Monday Night Football, and the husband's 49ers were playing. So I got to stay up and chit chat on the interwebs, and that was a lot of fun. So if you haven't checked out Jenny, do that. I'll tag her down below. Jenny, if you watch this, thanks for the fun evening. I felt like an adult getting to stay up past bedtime. I did get a couple rows done on my shawl. It is growing. Like, it's just a very slow grow. But I wanted to show you what it's looking like. I mean, I'm definitely like not ripping this one out. I'm so tired of ripping out this shawl. So pretty. And someone mentioned in my 2 days ago Vlogtober where I showed my jumping spiders in their enclosure, and they're like, it kind of looks like a spider's web. And I so can see that now, but it does kind of look like a spider web. And we were talking about the spiders last night on Jeannie's live that she was doing, and I wasn't on panel, I was just in the chat. And I mentioned how I like to go out and take photos of spider webs because I used to be terrified of spiders, but living out here, you get over that really quick because they're everywhere. My favorite time to go photograph spiders is in the fall when there's a lot of dew and usually fog. That is the best time to go spider web searching or hunting, whatever you want to call it, and take some photos because the webs actually hold on to the little bit of dew and they just glisten in the morning sun. They're absolutely stunning. At the end of this video, I'll post a couple of photos of some of my favorite ones that I've taken over the years. I do want to talk about things that are going to be happening on the channel this week because it's going to be a little bit of an odd week for me. I have a dentist appointment on Thursday. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not sure how that's going to go. I have a lot of PTSD, I guess you can say, from past dental work experience because of that car wreck I had. I think they're going to be pulling that tooth that I had the infection and I talked about a while back that I went to the specialist for. So if you missed that, I was in a car wreck in 2000. A drunk driver ran me off the road, left me there to die, and I shattered my jaw, shattered bones in my arms. Overall, lucky to be alive. And the dental work that was done, you know, that was over 20 something years ago, and I had to have some root canals to save a few teeth from my jaw shattering because I clamped down so hard. And some of those root canals are starting to fail basically, but I have one of them that has been kind of leaking and I have an infection and they're afraid it's going to set up in my bone, my jawbone. So the only thing to do for that tooth is to pull it, and I think they're going to possibly do that on Thursday. I'm terrified because I have not had a tooth pulled in my mouth, well, except from that car wreck, but I was out of it. I was like, there's so many drugs. I had no idea what was happening. I had a morphine drip. Like, it was for real legit, like in the hospital. I don't know how that's gonna be. I don't know. I'm scared I might get like a dry socket or something. I've never had one, but like currently terrified of them. And I'm also kind of worried I'm not gonna be able to talk if I have that gauze because I have a really bad gag reflex and I don't know how I'm gonna be able to hold that in my mouth. Like, I just have a lot of anxiety built up regarding whatever is going to happen to me on Thursday. In saying that, there may or may not be a video go up for Thursday because of that. If I can't talk, obviously I'm not going to try to record. We shall see, but I just wanted to give a heads up in case you are expecting these videos every day, why there may not be one on Friday. Hopefully though, it will be a traumatic-free experience, but it still kind of stinks that I have to have a tooth pulled at 43. And originally they had scheduled that on my birthday. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not coming to you guys on my birthday. No. I just realized that, you know, I wore my mic out here so I can get better audio because of the wind. And I see the red button flashing, which means the battery's probably dead. So I'm not sure how much of this audio is actually salvageable. But I'm hoping when I get in and start editing, I can save some of this. Because I've been talking to you guys for a long time.